So let's dive right in. So let's learn about some new educational opportunities from our lovely guests today, Rachel and Sharon. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Rachel, do you mind going ahead and introducing yourself and sharing your role with our Facebook family on what you do here?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Funk. I am the Canyon Field School Coordinator at Grand Canyon Conservancy.
And hi, I'm Sharon Colley. I'm the education specialist with Grand Canyon National Park. And I am the project lead for the Grand Canyon National Park on working with GCC on doing our summer camps.
Well, thank you guys both for joining today, and I'm excited. A couple of you might have seen Rachel. She's done a few videos for us on behalf of the Canyon Field School. So I'm excited to be able to sit down live from each of our home locations, so that way we can dig in a little bit more into a lot of the really great projects that the team is working on. So before we get into it, Rachel, do you mind sharing, both of your roles, are working directly with students. So what is it about providing students educational content that really drew you to this position?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I've always really enjoyed working with students, and I actually hold a teaching certification in education. But I was drawn to the idea of educating outside the classroom. And so combining my interest in the outdoors and public lands, and specifically Grand Canyon National Park, with that opportunity to educate students from not only all over the country, but also all over the world to this really unique environment we have here, seemed like a really great fit for me.
Thanks, Rachel. Sharon, what about you?
Well, the National Park Service actually has over 400 units within our system. And almost every single one of those 400 units does educational programs for students. We're considered the largest informal education institution across the United States. So education just kind of comes with the turf. And I'm really excited to be here at Grand Canyon and doing education here at Grand Canyon. I've been doing environmental education for a very long time, because there's nothing better when you take someone outside, a student of any age, and they discover something for the first time about the outdoors that gets them excited and engaged, and they just really want to learn even more. That just makes your whole day. There is just absolutely nothing like it, and I think we're really lucky to be in a position where we get to introduce students to that.
Thank you for sharing that. And again, just for those of you, we're starting to get some new viewers on. Again, my name is Alyssa, and we are coming to give you guys a preview of our Canyon Field School, sitting down with Rachel and Sharon. So Rachel, the Canyon Field School is a relatively young program. Can you share with our audience what exactly the Canyon Field School is and maybe how the program is divided up?
Yeah, so our Canyon Field School program is quite young, but it is mighty. Our Canyon Field School program is divided into two really distinct parts, both focusing on environmental education for students in grades 4 to 12. And so the first part is our day programs, and these allow students to come and experience and learn about Grand Canyon for about 3 to 5 hours. So think of it kind of like your typical field trip style. And then the second part of Canyon Field School is our Waldron Camp, and that runs typically through June to September. Our Waldron Camp works in partnership with Grand Canyon National Park. It's a residential camp that we try to have about 25 students and 5 chaperones at, so about 30 folks can come. And it allows those students to sleep under the stars in the national park in these big canvas tents that we have and really immerse themselves in that Grand Canyon experience. The camps are about 3 days and 2 nights, and they include guided opportunities and educational experiences by national park rangers, which is a really great opportunity for students to have. And these camps also are following state and national science guidelines for students.
Thank you for providing that explanation. So it's really great to see this collaboration between Grand Canyon Conservancy and the National Park Service. So Sharon, with this being such a collaborative program, can you share how we work with you and your team specifically?
Sure. We've split up our roles and responsibilities, and then we also combine together. So for example, the folks at Grand Canyon Conservancy provide things like they work with us on the budget, They do hiring of our camp counselors. They do take the reservations and the marketing and all that important behind the scenes things. They provide staff and coordinators. And so program management overall for the camps. So there's any number of things that GCC folks bring to the table. But then on the Park Service side, we are the ones that provide education. We have the kids out in the field most of the time when they're with us. But we also share in camp duties as well. We depend on other divisions within the national park to take care of some of the things at camp. So between us, it's a blended style between all of our staff that come together and work together on this. It's kind of like it takes a village to run a summer camp. There's a lot of logistics and moving pieces, and between GCC and Grand Canyon National Park, we make a great team to pull it off.
We do make a pretty good team, I have to admit. Being Grand Canyon Conservancy is that official nonprofit partner, I love this collaborative effort that we have in so many different affairs, but the Canyon Field School is just such a neat program because it really is about empowering youth. And so, right now, Rachel, with us not being able to invite students into our day camps or programs, what new content have you been working on that maybe some of our viewers would be able to take home?
That is a great question, and thank you for asking it. Sadly, we are not able to invite students here to learn about Grand Canyon currently, but we are working on ways to bring learning about Grand Canyon to you at home. And so Canyon Field School at Home is a 4-unit exploration of Grand Canyon and your local community that is all virtual, downloadable content. And our first unit, Geology, is set to be released on July 8th.
Well, I'm so excited. So actually, before we dive into the next question for Sharon, I would love to give our viewers just a quick sneak peek. So this is a quick snapshot. Hopefully everyone can see my screen right now of what this actually online guide looks like. So what the team has done is put together these comprehensive PDFs that you could just download, and it's filled with tips and resources for then students to take home to their own community or their own backyard to have that same Grand Canyon connection right where they are. So again, this is going to be officially released next week on Wednesday, June 8th, but we wanted to give you guys, of course, our loyal Facebook family, the sneak preview. So as you're joining in, if you guys have questions specifically for the Canyon Field School, feel free to comment those in, and we will make sure we try to answer them towards the end. Okay, so Sharon, besides geology, can you share what type of topics students will learn from the Canyon Field School at Home content?
Sure. We have 4 basic topic areas that we do in education at Grand Canyon. Geology is one. We do ecology, dark skies, since we're an international dark sky park, and also people on the landscape, which is looking at people from not only a historic perspective, but also current day issues, things that people deal with here at the Grand Canyon. And we're using the Grand Canyon as a unique site to be able to teach these different topics, but also that the topics and the subject matter is broad enough that even though we're using Grand Canyon as an example, that students can take that same learning results and apply it elsewhere. So even though they may not live at the Grand Canyon, like some of us are lucky enough to do, but they'll be able to, like for example, for geology, they'll be able to take the concepts they've learned and apply it within their own community.
Well, I think it'll be a great way, again, like you said, to bring those connections there and to really focus on what you had brought up earlier, those STEAM programs that really align with trying to hit these science topics. So for educators looking to incorporate Grand Canyon into their curriculum, what suggestions do you have, Sharon, on how to integrate the new Canyon Field School at Home modules into the classroom or even the virtual classroom?
Well, the nice thing about them is that there's a number of ways that they can use these that we've come up with. It'll be a short video, which will be an introduction to the topic, and then those beautiful fun activities that you just showed. So teachers can use this as part of their whole teaching unit if they are interested, or they could use it for if they're signed up to come for a field trip. They could use it for a pre-trip visit. They can use them for a post-trip visit. They're also designed to be standalone. So even if you are a parent at home and have students and don't have any future plans of coming to the Grand Canyon, they're designed to be standalone too. So the nice thing is that they can be used in multiple ways depending on what the need is for any adult or student out there who wants to get further engaged in learning about the Grand Canyon.
Thank you. So I'm actually just going to sidestep really quick. We did just get a question in from Judith and Emmanuel. I'm going to answer your question a little bit towards the end. So the students that were coming to the Canyon when we have these in-person events, will you guys share with the types of age ranges or demographics? I know I'm going a little bit ahead on this, but where do the students come from that you see participate in these programs?
Most of our students come from Arizona or the Arizona geographic area, particularly if they're coming to the Grand Canyon. But we've had groups from as far away as Florida, Indiana, New York State, California, have come to the park as well. So it just depends on what people want and their ability to travel out here. So, but mainly around the Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, slightly into Nevada area is our biggest draw area. And we draw primarily roughly about 5th grade into high school is our target group. And it's right now it is organized youth groups. So it could either be Boys and Girls Clubs, it could be Scouts, it could be school teachers. So a variety of ways, but that's kind of our target group right now. Rachel, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, we actually were lucky enough this past spring, early winter, before all of the COVID pandemic hit, that we had a group actually from Germany travel to Grand Canyon, and we got to do a day program with that group. So that was a really cool experience for us.
Thank you both. I appreciate you guys asking that or answering that question live from Judith. So Rachel, going back, can you speak to specifically these Canyon Field School at-home modules that we're going to be launching, the accessibility of the curriculum, and give an overview on how that first geology unit is laid out? And I can pull it back up on the screen too.
Yeah, so a little bit of what Sharon said, that we have guides that are really bringing the activities to your local community. So these are, how can we relate geology or any of our other units to your backyard and to your local community? And then you can move on to the next step, which is an activity, which has a little bit higher piece of curriculum to it, a little more involved of an activity that relates to geology as well. And then also, which won't be pictured in the preview that Alyssa is showing you right now, but there is also going to be videos attached to each unit that really drive home how these units and what you are learning in each curriculum, how they relate to Grand Canyon. So you're really getting how it relates to Grand Canyon, how it relates to your local community, and how it all works together for each of the units.
Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate that. So as we start to look into 2021, or actually, I do want to flip this back over to Sharon really quick before we go on to the next question. For this being more of a kid-friendly middle school level, and I know you had talked about too some of the different activities each time, is there anything you would add to with how these documents and resources are compliant with, the 508 compliance or anything else like that?
As far as 508, 508 means accessibility for all people to be able to read and view. So for example, if you have a disability with your vision, you should still be able to use our activities with a reader or whatever the technology you use to access them. So the idea is to try to be as inclusive as possible with all people so that they can enjoy these amazing activities that our group has spent a lot of time and great energy putting together. So they're not only designed that way, but they're also, again, designed for appealing for different age levels. So again, we're kind of targeting that 5th grade to 12th grade level. So the language is written in a way that is friendly to those kids' learning level, as well as to adults. I don't think that adults will find it's a burden to do the activities either. So again, the idea is meant to reach out and be inclusive to any and everybody who is interested in learning more about the Grand Canyon.
Thanks for that additional information there. So as we look to 2021 and hopefully to get back to some of these in-person day camps or programs, Rachel, can you share with how this new digital content might actually play into some of those in-person gatherings that you guys have planned?
Yeah, so in 2021, we will be hosting our day programs and camps once again. Like we said, day programs will resemble your typical field trip class, and students will come to Grand Canyon National Park, be able to experience Grand Canyon through exploration and hiking, activities, anything like that. We tailor our day programs to what groups are interested in. So if you come and your science class is interested and is currently studying ecology, we can focus our day program on ecology of Grand Canyon. And then by using our digital learning, you can either, your class or student group can either use our guides and curriculum before you come or after. And really, you can pick and choose. If you just are focusing on ecology, we'll have a unit for that. And so you can go in and start and kick off your learning to Grand Canyon before you even come for a day program by using one of the units. And I'll let Sharon touch on how this is also going to impact the camp program.
At summer camp, we have 3-day camps are scheduled. And so when kids arrive, like say on a Monday afternoon, we throw them right out onto the canyon with an activity, and we orientate them to what they're going to be doing, and then they get to go up to camp. And then we have, after dinner, we have evening programs for them. Their second day, we're in the field all day long. So they are, the idea is that our activities are hands-on, they are student-driven, they're inquiry-based, so that when they come, it'll be stuff that they wouldn't normally be able to do in a classroom because we're using Grand Canyon as our playground. It's where we're doing our experiments and where we're trying to figure things out together and come up with some answers and go through a science process to kind of learn all together. So it's less about us teaching to the right answer. It's more about us all learning and exploring together in the outdoors. And on the close of our second day, we're back at camp and some more activities and an evening program. And then same thing for the last half day of camp. Again, we're back out in the field. So it's a lot of time spent out with the kids outside. And if they don't come home dirty and tired, then I haven't done my job. So we will be focusing again on our primary areas. But yeah, it's gonna be very interactive, including some citizen science we hope to be doing. And also some things that kids, again, can take home that they can implement when they get home as well. So we have a lot of goals for what we'd like for our kids to take back.
You are not busy at all. My gosh, that's a lot of big plans. I know you and I love how you really hit on that idea of the inclusivity of the outdoors and really everyone just coming together and really being able to experience that landscape at Grand Canyon. So for some of the viewers who maybe are not familiar, and this is still fairly new for us as well, the Waldron camp is beautiful. I mean, I've been able to see some photos and really kind of what that experience is like. But for those of them can you paint that mental picture for us? What does that camp look like? What does it feel like for students to be there?
Sure. Yeah, it's funny because the park gets over 6 million visitors a year, and most of those 6 million visitors are on the South Rim where we're having our camp. But where the camp is located, you would have no idea that there was all those visitors enjoying the Grand Canyon. We are back from the rim, but not that far, but we're far enough back where we're considered to be in backcountry. So to get to the camp, you go through these beautiful stands of the great big ponderosa trees, and then we come up the hill and we have an open space for the camp. We have platforms. These are tent platforms, and one of our jobs this spring that Rachel and I will be doing with the rest of our staff is we will be reconstructing the camp. And as Rachel mentioned before, they are great big canvas tents. And we have bunk beds that we put inside for the kids. So we have 6 tents that are just for students themselves. We have some more tents for the chaperones. And then we have a couple tents for our staff who stay overnight with the kids. So there's always somebody on site, or when we're out in the field, there's always some of our staff that are always with the group. And we also have 2 great big tents. We have our kitchen dining room tent, and then the next door we have an educational tent. And the educational tent is where we have arts and crafts and games, and anytime we want to do extra activities. So these are much larger. They can hold the entire group in either one of those tents. We have a small campfire ring, so that at evening time, like for the example, the first evening, weather provided, that we'll have an evening campfire to cook some s'mores and be able to tell stories and do skits around the campfire. And that campfiring is also where we'll be doing our dark sky program. Hopefully our second night out there again, depending on weather. So the camp is rustic. It is, because it is backcountry, we have no power. So everything we have there, we have solar power for all of our lights. We don't even use a generator. So we are trying to be as green as possible in doing our camp. And we're trying to be very mindful of that with everything from, we have food that is catered and brought into us, but again, we use real utensils so that we can, again, be reusing those instead of creating a lot of trash. So we're trying to be very mindful of that. We're also mindful because it is a historic site that we're actually located on. So we're mindful of people who came before us and also any impact we may have on wildlife. So again, trying to be very green in what we do. We have a couple of vans that we bring on for the kids, and we transport them in our vans anytime we are running around the Grand Canyon. So we provide that transportation for them. But the kids really enjoy the tents. You know, doesn't love sleeping in a bunk bed in a, you know, a tent in the great outdoors. It's isn't that what summer's all about? Getting to do some of that fun stuff and making friends at camp. So they get to do all of that, and again they have very full days, and we have quiet hours are at 10, but there's usually a little bit of talking going on, you know, because they're so excited about the day and they're talking to their buddies, and so yeah, they'll come home tired because they would have slept a whole lot because they're just so excited to be at camp.
You know, when I first saw the camp, I was so upset. I'm like, how do I go and stay there? This is the coolest camp. Like, I want to go and be a resident there for a weekend. So hopefully one of these days I might just try to volunteer for the takedown and just get a night's sleep out there under the stars. So sorry, back to it.
Yeah. We've had so many adults ask us, like, how come they don't get to go to camp? And it's just like, wow, we obviously need to put one on for the staff around here so they can go to camp.
We could do it as a team building opportunity. We all go camp at the Waldron camp. So focusing back on this idea of inclusivity and really trying to make these opportunities available to all students, Rachel, can you share what's for schools too as well that don't have financial means to attend a camp or program? Are there any resources available to them, like scholarships?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning this. We at Canyon Field School really try our hardest to make both day programs and camps available to all student groups, no matter what their financial situation is. We have scholarships available that can cover full or partial costs of both day programs and camps. An adult contact for each group must fill out the scholarship application on our website, and then a member of the Canyon Field School team will review it and get back to them as soon as possible. And we really highly encourage any group that may be interested to apply for a scholarship. Those scholarships can be found at grandcanyon.org under classes and tours, and then they can click on youth programs and they'll find all of our information there.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait for us to be able to get back in action in 2021, but I do think that the amazing content that you guys have really worked on to be able to bring this Grand Canyon curriculum at home will hopefully help to really engage students in this time, and as well as help maybe alleviate some pressure for educators and parents in trying to find new opportunities for their kids. So I think with that, we're just getting ready to wrap up for the day. I did just want to go back. Emmanuel had asked a question too about learning opportunities for grad students and artists. And so, Emmanuel, we actually are going to be working on an artist in residence program that will be coming out later this year that I really think will help to ignite and capture that inner artist. And so we'll be sharing information on that hopefully around September. It is a new program that we will be launching. And as well as opportunities for grad students, there are internships and occasional positions that will open up that I really think can align with that education curriculum that you're maybe doing in your grad program. So I can follow up with you on some more of that information as well. So at this point, Rachel and Sharon, is there anything else you guys would like to add? Maybe something we didn't touch on today?
I just want to mention that what a great partner GCC is with Grand Canyon National Park. I believe in GCC enough where I am a member, and I know that there's so many things that the park is unable to do without our amazing partnership. And this is one of those things, our Canyon Field School, is that between us, we bring different things to the table. that, so between the two of us, we were able to do something that one of us couldn't do by ourselves. And I was so thankful to all the folks who are interested in Grand Canyon Conservancy and all the people who are members and support Grand Canyon Conservancy and Grand Canyon National Park, because it really is. It takes all of us to be able to do all these amazing opportunities for not only for kids, but also the great work that GCC does to support so many things that we do in the park. So for me, I'm really enjoying that we have such a great partnership with GCC.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for your support too. It's like, we love it. We couldn't do this without you. Rachel, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just if anyone has any questions or even just maybe slightly interested in the Canyon Field School day programs or camps, they can reach out to me at rfunk, F-U-N-K, at grandcanyon.org. And really, please do not hesitate if you have any questions about our program.
Wonderful. So I'm going to make sure I put a link in the comments below too. So the new Canyon Field School at home curriculum can be found at grandcanyon.org/at-home. So don't worry about writing that down. I'll put that in the comments. And then next week on Wednesday, July 8th, don't forget to download this new geology unit, which is that document that I was showing you. There's 5 different segments to it. Each one varies in levels of outdoor activities versus doing some actual writing and manually drafting some things up. So I think there's a good opportunity there for that. And then a couple weeks later, we'll be actually releasing that next ecology module that Sharon had talked about earlier. So thank you both so much for joining today and sharing your plans with our Facebook family. And so we'll be checking back again next week. So I hope everyone has a lovely 4th of July weekend. If you are traveling for the holiday, please make sure to be safe. Don't forget your face coverings and recreate responsibly. And we'll be back again next Friday, July 10th for our usual Field Institute Friday Facebook Live. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.